Right now on Jamaica News Page tonight, a brazen daylight gun attack in St. Andrew leaves 2 men dead. What police are saying about the deadly shooting and rising concerns about violence in the St. Andrew South Division. Also tonight, another shooting in the corporate area. 4 people, including a police officer, wounded along Chisum Avenue, what investigators are revealing so far. And a consumer alert. Police warn contaminated beef could be in circulation following a disturbing incident in St. Mary. What you should know before making your next purchase. Plus, there's good news tonight, relief and celebration in a St. Elizabeth community after months in darkness, as electricity is finally restored following Hurricane Melissa. And there's more good news tonight, a heartwarming homecoming. A Jamaican who left the island as a child returns more than 6 decades later, embracing sunshine, freedom, and a lifelong dream of living back home. Welcome back to Jamaica News Page tonight, news that keeps you connected to what's happening across Jamaica. And we're powered by viewers just like you. We've got special rewards just for you. When you become a Jamaica News Page member, you'll unlock these special rewards you love, including a loyalty badge next to your name in the comments, shoutouts for your birthday, anniversaries, other special moments, and just so much more. Joining is easy. Just click subscribe, then click join, and choose to become a Full Star or Full Elite member right now. That's it, simple and quick. A link to join has been posted in the comments. Please leave a comment so we can welcome you with a shout out. Thank you for joining us. Donna Lindo 1371. Jamaica News Page tonight starts right now. We begin tonight with ongoing crime concerns in the corporate area, where police are investigating multiple incidents across St. Andrew, including a double murder, a shooting that left 4 people injured, and continued efforts to tackle property crimes. 2 men were shot and killed during what police describe as a brazen gun attack along Fairfield Avenue in St. Andrew on Saturday afternoon. The victims have been identified as Tyrese McKenzie, otherwise called as City Puss, and Josh Harvey, otherwise known as Josh. Reports indicate that shortly after 4:25 p.m., the 2 men were standing along the roadway near a parked motor vehicle when a silver Toyota Probox reportedly drove into the area, turned around, and later stopped nearby. A man allegedly exited the vehicle and opened fire on the pair. Both men reportedly attempted to flee. Mackenzie was shot in the middle of the roadway, while Harvey ran into a nearby garage but was chased and shot there. The gunman reportedly escaped into the waiting Toyota Probox. Police later arrived and found both men suffering from gunshot wounds to the upper body. They were pronounced dead at hospital. Investigations remain ongoing. The incident comes as the St. Andrews South Police Division continues to record heightened violent activity. The division currently leads all 19 police divisions, with more than 5 murders recorded since the start of the year. Meanwhile, another violent incident unfolded along Chisum Avenue, where 4 people, including a police officer, were wounded during a shooting on Saturday evening. Commanding officer for the division, Senior Superintendent Damien Manderson, says the officer had been responding to a domestic situation when he was allegedly fired upon by armed men who were reportedly displeased with his presence in the area.
Closer to 6:30 last evening, we had reports of gunfire within that space. Upon making the relevant checks, the operations team came upon a male seeing separate gunshot wound and assisted him to the hospital. Whilst carrying out that operation, we were further drawn by residents to the attention that several persons were actually shot. Check made revealed that we actually had 4 persons being shot in the space, one being a police officer as well. What we're finding out that unfolded is that the police officer, in support of a friend attending to some domestic matters in that space, were pounced upon by a group of men who did not appreciate their presence there, at least so it seems to us, and they engaged the men by firing at them individuals were shot and injured are being cared for at KPH. Luckily, none of those injuries are life-threatening. The officer has been treated and released, and for follow-up treatment, he was shot in both legs and is recuperating pretty well.
SSP Manderson described the incident as unfortunate and unnecessary, adding that a thorough investigation has been launched while police continue searching for others believed to be involved. In other crime developments, a man suspected of involvement in multiple house break-ins across the St. Andrew North Police Division has been arrested during targeted police operations. According to the police, the man was captured on closed-circuit television CCTV on at least two separate occasions carrying out break-ins. Investigators say CCTV footage played a crucial role in identifying and tracking the suspect. Police also report that several men were recently arrested after allegedly being caught removing items from a house in the Maryvale community. Officers seized a grill cutter, household items, and a truck believed to have been used to transport stolen goods. Charges are expected to follow. Head of the division, Superintendent Randy Sweeney, is urging residents and business operators to strengthen security measures, particularly through the installation of cameras, and to remain vigilant by reporting suspicious activities. Additionally, the St. Andrews South Police have listed 15 men as persons of interest in connection with ongoing investigations. They are Tevin Dacres, Jason Channer, otherwise called Popeye, who frequents the Happy Grove community, Andre Frame, otherwise called Coolman, Fine Voice, 90s or Speedy, and Samuel Brown, otherwise called Shatty or Mark, of a 440 Drive, Kingston 11 address. Also listed are Andre Brown Jr., otherwise called Biggs, of a Fitzgerald Kingston 13 address, Kevin Roberts, otherwise called Thickman or Yankee, of a Bellrock Kingston 11 address, Bebito Brown, of a Callaloo Muse Kingston 20 address, and Raheem Brown, otherwise called Berger, of a Crescent Road address. The St. Andrews South Police are also seeking Jermaine Richards, otherwise called Richie, of a Penn Road address, Derek Johnson, otherwise called Bush, of Greenwich Town Kingston 13, Orlando Blake, otherwise called Lando or Gazaman, of Crescent Road Kingston 13, and Michael Carr, otherwise called Preps, of Lower Happy Grove Red Hills. The other two are a man known as Lando or Duckman of Happy Grove Red Hills, and a man known only as Shamar of Happy Grove Red Hills. The individuals are being urged to report to the Hunts Bay Criminal Investigations Branch or the nearest police station immediately. Police are also appealing to members of the public with information on their whereabouts to contact investigators through the Hunts Bay Crime Investigations Branch, the nearest police station, or emergency numbers 119 or 311. Authorities say continued cooperation between citizens and law enforcement remains critical as efforts intensify to curb crime across the division. Developing tonight, a man was shot and killed and a firearm seized during a targeted police operation on Balkan Avenue in Bayshore Park, Harborview, Kingston 17 on Saturday morning. The man has been identified as 37-year-old Troy Flanagan, otherwise called a junglist, who is said to be from the Balkan Avenue area. Reports indicate that about 5:18 a.m., officers entered a residence and approached a bedroom where the man was reportedly seen with a firearm. Police alleged that the suspect pointed the weapon and opened fire. Officers returned fire, and it is further reported that the man continued shooting while advancing toward the police before he was fatally wounded. A pistol fitted with a magazine containing 5.45 rounds was recovered at the scene. Flanagan was transported to the Kingston Public Hospital where he was pronounced dead. The Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom has since launched a probe into the fatal shooting. Turning now to news about road fatalities. Two separate road incidents in Manchester have left two people dead, including a high school student. Police report that a 14-year-old Mayday high school student, Lakia Thompson, of Woodlawn Road, died after being struck by a reversing Toyota coaster bus along the Mayday Main Road on Friday. Investigators say the bus had stopped to pick up students and had moved forward before reversing when Thompson, who was reportedly walking behind the vehicle, was hit. She was rushed to the Mandeville Regional Hospital but later succumbed to her injuries. The Mandeville Traffic Department and the Area 3 Accident Investigation and Reconstruction Unit are continuing investigations. In a separate incident, police say a man died following a hit-and-run crash along the Spurtree Hill Main Road late Thursday night. The incident reportedly occurred about 11 p.m. near the old Spurtree Main Road. Authorities say the pedestrian was struck by a vehicle that failed to stop. He was taken to hospital but later died while undergoing treatment. His identity has not yet been confirmed. Investigation is ongoing. Turning now to road safety, new data from the Island Traffic Authority shows that private motor vehicle drivers and passengers continue to account for the majority of road fatalities since the start of the year. According to the latest crash statistics, more than 25 people have been killed in more than 17 fatal collisions so far this year. Of that number, 17 were either drivers of private motor vehicles or their passengers. 10 passengers have died, accounting for 38% of fatalities, while 7 private motor vehicle drivers represent about 29%. Motorcyclists account for 4 deaths, or 15%, while pedestrians represent 3 fatalities, roughly 12%. 2 pedal cyclists have also been killed in traffic incidents this year, while fatalities have decreased by about 26% compared to the same period last year, and fatal crashes are down by roughly 38%. Authorities say the numbers remain concerning. Police also note that vulnerable road users, including pedestrians, motorcyclists, pedal cyclists, and pillion passengers, account for approximately 35% of all fatalities since January. Now to a consumer alert, the St. Mary Police are warning consumers to exercise caution when purchasing beef following the reported theft and illegal slaughter of pregnant cows in the Rose End district. The Agricultural Protection Branch issued the advisory after reports that a farmer had tethered 11 cows on a property in the community before retiring for the night. A relative who later checked on the animals discovered they were missing. 2 of the cows were subsequently found slaughtered on the property, one of which was reportedly carrying a fully developed calf. Police believe the incident occurred sometime between 3 and 5 a.m. Authorities say a veterinarian who visited the scene confirmed the animals had recently been treated with chemicals, making the meat unsafe for human consumption. Residents are now being urged to remain vigilant, particularly when purchasing beef at unusually low prices. Police warn that consuming contaminated meat could lead to serious health complications and, in some cases, even death. Let's talk about some good news tonight. Residents of the Potsdam district in St. Elizabeth are celebrating the long-awaited return of electricity after more than 3 months in darkness following the passage of Hurricane Melissa last October. Cheers reportedly erupted last Tuesday as power was restored, bringing relief to families who had struggled without refrigeration, lighting, and reliable communication since the storm. Many residents say they're especially grateful to be free from the high cost of generator fuel and are looking forward to simple comforts they once took for granted, such as storing food properly and keeping their homes lit at night. The Jamaica Public Service says approximately 77% of its customers were affected after the hurricane, with western parishes among the hardest hit. As of early February, about 4% of customers remain without electricity as restoration efforts continue. Residents say the outage forced major adjustments to daily life, including cooking food the same day it was purchased and relying on neighbors or generators to charge phones. Some expressed cautious optimism, noting brief outages shortly after power was restored and calling for additional street lighting to improve safety in the area. Local business operators also felt the impact. Some reported heavy financial losses due to the prolonged outage, including the high cost of running generators to keep businesses operational. Others say they are now hopeful for recovery as electricity stabilizes and normal activity resumes. Despite lingering concerns, many residents say they are relieved to finally have electricity back and are eager to return to a sense of normalcy after months of disruption. And before we go tonight, there's more good news. At just 12 years old, Errol McCarthy left Jamaica with his sister for Birmingham, England. Now 72 and retired, he has returned home, finally fulfilling a lifelong dream after more than 6 decades abroad. McCarthy describes the move back as a blessing, noting that many Jamaicans in the diaspora hope to return home but are often prevented by illness or other circumstances. For him, the opportunity to come back healthy and able to enjoy retirement in Jamaica means everything. Originally from Rock Springs in Trelawney, McCarthy recalls a childhood filled with simple joys, playing outdoors, swimming in rivers, and enjoying fresh fruits from the land. Moving to England in the mid 1960s brought significant culture shock, including colder weather, urban life, and a very different pace of living. Despite the challenges, he built a life overseas, working in factories and hospitals before eventually transitioning into social services, where he helped care for elderly residents. During that time, he met his Jamaican born wife, and together they began planning their eventual return home. The couple purchased land in St. Elizabeth years ago with retirement in mind. After retiring and with careful planning, they permanently relocated to Jamaica in September 2025. Their return, however, was quickly tested. Just weeks later, Hurricane Melissa struck western Jamaica, causing widespread damage and leaving them without electricity and internet for months. McCarthy says experiencing a hurricane firsthand was far different from watching storms from abroad, but he remained optimistic and focused on rebuilding. He and his wife also supported neighbors affected by the storm, sharing supplies they had shipped ahead of their move and helping the community recover. Today, despite the challenges, McCarthy says he has no regrets. He speaks warmly about Jamaica's culture, food, climate, and sense of community, saying the freedom to move around, connect with people, and enjoy the sunshine makes the decision worthwhile. And for this returning resident, the message is simple. After a lifetime away, there truly is no place like Yard. And that's the news on Jamaica News Page tonight. News that keeps you connected to what's happening across Jamaica. And we're powered by viewers just like you. We've got special rewards just for you. When you become a Jamaica News Page member, you'll unlock these special rewards you love, including a loyalty badge next to your name in the comments, shoutouts for your birthday, anniversaries, other special moments, and just so much more. Joining is easy. Just click subscribe, then click join, and choose to become a FUA Star or FUA Elite member right now. That's it, simple and quick. A link to join has been posted in the comments. Please leave a comment so we can welcome you with a shout out. Thank you for joining us, Donna Lindo 1371, and also thank you for watching Jamaica News Page tonight. We'll see you in the comments, and be sure to join us again for more news. From all of us here, good night.